I'm Nicole Wodislawski from the International Copper Association. My colleague, Malcolm Burwell, continues his interview with Jack Lifton, founder of Technology Metals Research.
On the demand side, we talked previously about the supply side, but on the demand side, we would probably expect at least a tripling of the rare earth demand by 2020 if we stuck with hybrid and electric vehicles being permanent magnet vehicles. So on the demand side, how does the demand side affect the cost of this? Will it just be taken up with new mines and new capabilities, or is there some other fundamental block?
I want to tell you a secret, and I want you to tell anybody. You cannot triple the supply of the heavy rare earths. There simply isn't enough material. You can, if you're willing to invest several $billion, you can produce several $1 million worth of material. This is not going to happen. My company, TMR, Technology Metals Research, we have a website, techmetalsresearch.com. We're predicting that the production of the heavy rare earths will maximize out. Excuse me. Wendy, please. Wendy. God, please. Okay, I'm back. We predict that the supply of dysprosium will not catch the demand, period. We see that the demand has already exceeded the supply, and we do not see that changing. So it means there'll be less dysprosium available. The price is going up, and I predict that the price could get to the point where it'll be a decision maker in the end user, like the automotive, and take it out.
I find that interesting because what I think you're saying is that even if all of the geopolitical interactions were taken out of this, and we just looked and we were one magic world with no borders, and it was just a question of supply and demand, that an increasing demand due to electric and hybrid vehicles of a factor of 3 would because of dysprosium and the need for dysprosium, would just not be a fulfillable situation. Have I got that right?
That is correct. Yes.
And that's I juxtapose that with the fact that the big car OEMs show reluctance to move away from permanent magnets for all sorts of excellent engineering reasons and supply chain existence reasons. And I'm just wrestling with why an induction motor would not be an obvious solution.
May I paraphrase P.T. Barnum? There's a blind man, somebody blind to reality, born every minute. Okay, all they don't want to worry about it because they will fix it. I tell mining audiences, since I'm they, tell me how I'm going to fix it. Well, they will just produce more, right? It's how hard can it be? The stuff's all over the place. Well, since nobody has yet solved the problem of extracting the heavy rare earths from the minerals we have, it's just now looking like it's doable, and mines take up to 5 and 7 years to put into production, and the supply chain beyond that, the separation plant, the metals plant, the alloys plant, these haven't been built yet. I would say it's going to be quite some time before any of this happens. But when I give this talk at large automotive companies, they go, yawn, well, so what? Look, we can always get this stuff. We'll just pay more, and if the price gets too high, we won't use it, and what's for lunch? Okay, great. So you assume that everyone is intimately involved with this and perfectly rational, and they're brilliant, and they have brilliant advisors. They're just a bunch of ordinary people. This is something new to them. They'd rather not think about it. The big problem is, that other guy's after my job, and I want more money, and maybe I get a better job across the street. They're not worried about this, and they should be worried about this. And then when it happens, it's a disaster, it's a crisis, blah, 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 all the time. And I've been going around all my life. They call me the apocalyptic soothsayer. I'm always telling them, here's what's going to happen. Here's how it's going to impact you. And they say, sure. Then when it does happen, they say, you know what, we just discovered this. Maybe you can help us.
This concludes Part 4 of Malcolm Burwell's interview with Jack Lifton. The discussion continues on Part 5.